Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Reel Me In, a movie podcast where you didn't really ask for it, but hey, I'm going to give it to you anyways. This is a podcast where I talk about everything, anything about movies. I'm your host, Chase Lee, and this is going to be a really good episode, guys. I got a lot of news to talk about with you. I have some trailers to talk about, and then of course I'm going to talk about my thoughts on Furious 7, and of course pay respects to Paul Walker. I know I did that in the episode where the news broke that week, but I still want to give respect to the guy, and Paul Walker, this podcast is for you, sir. You were a very entertaining actor, and I miss you dearly. And at the end of Furious 7, which I'll get to, it's very emotional, and I teared up a little bit, not gonna lie. So, and then of course box office results for the weekend. You guys know what number one's going to be, but how much did it make? Find out at the end of the podcast. So, guys, let's get this started. Let's not waste any time. So, and first of all, I want to say, my microphone was kind of bugging out yesterday, and so I'm kind of worried that it's going to mess up in the middle of this podcast, and you guys are going to get some static, so I hope that's not the case, so cross your fucking fingers. So, happy Easter, everyone that celebrates that. So, here we go. Let's start with the news. The first piece of news, I have to do this one because this one, it was so awesome when I saw it. And that is Deadpool is going to be rated R. We've had that kind of hesitation. We don't know if it was going to be, PG-13 or R, but, I've never read a Deadpool comic, but I know what the character is. He's a really cool anti-hero. He breaks the fourth wall. He's very well aware that he's in a comic, and he's just an all-around fun character. But he's also called the Merc with the Mouth, and so he does have some dirty dialogue every so often. So, I wanted it to be rated R, to be honest with you. I wanted them to just try something different and kind of go balls to the wall and just, comic book and graphic novel adaptations that are rated R are successful. Look at the first Kick-Ass. Look at Kingsman. I think, in my eyes, Watchmen was a very good movie, but it kind of underperformed at the box office just a tad. So I can understand studios' hesitancies, with an R-rated product. However, I think with Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool, I think that this is going to be a very fun movie, and I think it's something that we're definitely going to remember, and we're going to go, you know what, that stood out a lot, and I actually really, dig the fact that they tried something different, because as much as I love comic book movies, I want to see, each one that I see be fresh, something extremely different. I think bringing Deadpool to the big screen will do just that, and, Ryan Reynolds has got that charisma to where he's perfect in this role, and the marketing of this movie is going to be so fucking nuts, guys. And this video proves it right here. So, behind this little story, Ryan Reynolds on April Fool's Day, of course, tweeted out, the movie's going to be PG-13, but we're going to fight for that R, and, the scumbags, making this movie, and he was like, don't worry, it's still going to have a shit ton of chimichangas and whatever the fuck. And, he was getting into his character, and it's like, oh, okay, it's PG-13, I'll still watch it. And then this video comes out. And, I click on it, because, I want to see anything Deadpool, because, like I said, the marketing for this movie is insane so far. So I click on it, and it's Mario Lopez, which is the guy that played AC Slater on Saved by the Bell. And he's interviewing Ryan Reynolds as if, Ryan is on the set of Deadpool, and Mario is going to interview him on the process of the movie and stuff. And so, it's just slight banter back and forth, the typical interview. And then, towards the tail end, Deadpool's walking behind Mario Lopez. And you gotta keep in mind, they're supposed to be in different locations. And so, Deadpool, grabs a huge fucking studio light, and he nails Mario Lopez and, knocks him to the floor. And he's like, fuck you, Slater. and then it goes to the title screen. It's like, Deadpool will be rated R. And at the very end, he makes another Saved by the Bell joke. And he's like, don't worry, Jesse. He can't hurt you anymore. And, oh my God, it was so great. And apparently Ryan Reynolds was in that costume and the costume looks great. I like Ryan Reynolds, his charisma in this character. It breathes like really just that fun energy that this movie's going to have, and I'm looking forward to it. I don't know why people shit on Ryan Reynolds. I really don't. The first thing I ever saw him in, yes, it was what he's known for, is his, fast comedy, and I really liked him in Van Wilder. And he's done like so-so movies, but he's not terrible, guys. And people knock on Green Lantern all the time. Yeah, that was a poop movie, but he was not the reason why it was shit. It was because it was the writing, the directing, everything. Guys, the fucking villain was a huge fart cloud that some sumo wrestler like farted in Hawaii and it like traveled across the nation. That's why it sucked. Ryan Reynolds as Hal Jordan was not the issue, but I digress. There he tried Deadpool in X-Men Origins Wolverine, totally failed. They sewed up his mouth and it just was totally fucked. With that being said, since Deadpool is more of like an awareness character, he's like aware of what's going on. I think it'd be really funny, and this would be an opportunity missed if they didn't make fun of Wolverine Origins in some way, shape, or form. So I hope they do. But this is it's shaping out to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it, man. This is actually my most anticipated for next year. And we have Deadpool, Batman v Superman, Civil War. We have Suicide Squad, X-Men Apocalypse. Next year's gonna be fucking bonkers, guys. But like Deadpool is like, it's my most anticipated out of all of those, just because it's gonna be different, and I cannot wait. Like it's gonna be great. That line always. I've replayed that video several times, and fuck you, Slater. So good. All right, so the next piece of news is that it is rumored, and I think for the majority of it is fact, because it has come from reputable sources, but the Batman v Superman trailer will debut in front of Mad Max. There was a teaser trailer of Batman v Superman at Comic-Con last year, and I saw it before they pulled it down, and it was nothing special. It just showed, Ben Affleck in his metal Batman suit, Superman staring him down in like this, rainy environment. I mean, it's really nothing, but it is kind of cool to see them on screen together. It makes you wonder, like, why. I hate when news outlets post rumors and shit, like, because it gets people's hopes up and then they're severely disappointed. What do I mean by that? Well, it was rumored that the Batman v Superman trailer will debut in front of The Hobbit, Battle of the Five Armies, from last December. Didn't happen. Then they reported it was going to debut in front of Jupiter Ascending this year, which came out in February. Did not happen. Now they're saying Mad Max. Mad Max is more believable because you have to keep in mind, Batman v Superman is still 11 months away. That's a long fucking time, and you don't need to be advertising your movie a year and a half out. If they would have did it with The Hobbit in December, that would have been fucking pointless. If they would have did it in Jupiter Ascending, that's still over a year away. This makes more sense because Mad Max comes out in May, and that's more of like a 10-month window for like your first teaser to try to like build anticipation up for people. So I understand that. But guys, when the trailer comes out, it comes out. We don't have to like, second guess everything and just be like, yeah, it's going to be with this movie and that movie. It's just so dumb. Why? I just don't understand why we can't be patient. I'm as much of a fan as anyone else, but guys, it's coming. It will come. Just one thing at a time, please. Like, we still have Avengers 2 coming out in less than a month right now, so, let's concentrate on that first. So, am I excited about this? Of course I am. Mad Max looks fucking awesome. It's like the most beautiful look at anarchy I've ever seen. Like, the trailer is just so exciting. It's so rich in color, and it's so brutal, but like I said, it's shot with just brilliant, beautiful cinematography to where it's like beautiful anarchy. It's really cool. Just adding a Batman v Superman trailer in front of it just hypes me up even more. So, I'm okay with this. I really like this move, and I think since Marvel is claiming they won't be at Comic-Con, if they don't show up, Warner Brothers, if you are listening to this, you need to take full advantage of that shit, and you need to just come full force at Comic-Con. You need to show another trailer. You need to show some more images. You need to get people fucking ecstatic for this movie, because besides Deadpool, you were the first one next year to lead off the year in superhero movies. So take advantage of that. So Batman v Superman trailer in front of Mad Max, I fucking buy that. I am super stoked for it. So the next piece of news is that Mulan, the Disney animated feature, that story is going to be adapted into a live-action movie. I like this news because here's the deal. I didn't really care for Alice in Wonderland, and I definitely did not like Maleficent. And then I haven't seen Cinderella yet, so I can't comment, but a lot of people say out of the three so far, that one's the best. The reason why this one would be a really cool live action is it sets itself up to be super epic. If you guys have seen Mulan, like, it's set in, Asia, and, like, it's just really gorgeous. It's, like, it's good scenery. It's got really cool action sequences, and you're thinking to yourself, like, wow, that would actually work in a live-action feature, and I would be okay with that. So it actually, like, sets itself up for a live-action adaptation, and I think this is probably one of the best ones they've announced so far that they're going to adapt until I get to the next story. But I'm looking forward to it. The only problem, Disney, if you somehow stumble across this, listen, I love you guys. You're making smart decisions. You're making really good animation films. Pixar's doing really well. You got Marvel, you got Star Wars. Do not fuck this up. And what I mean by that, do not get a white actress to play Mulan. This needs to be an Asian actress, and it needs to fit the tone of the movie. Do not pull another Johnny Depp scenario with fucking Tonto and have him smear sperm all over his face with black chalk marks and call that Indian. Because he's not. Tonto was a very popular character that was Indian. He was Native American. Like, I don't know. I'd be really, listen guys, I realize I said Indian. He plays an Indian in the movie, but he's Native American. But I don't want them to cast a white person. I really don't. I want them to find the best Asian actress possible to play this role. And the thing is, a lot of people suggest a lot of hot women. Like very hot, like Jamie Chung or whatever. She's very gorgeous. She's a good actress. I've seen her in a lot of stuff. But the Mulan story, it's about a girl pretending to be a guy so she can, be in this war. And so this is kind of walking a thin line, but you kind of find someone that's not as attractive. That way they can be more believable when they blend in. I don't know. Like I said, that might sound really bad, and I'm not trying to be that offensive. Trust me, I have my limits, guys. But, there's just a lot to this that Disney really needs to kind of pull through with and not really slump, and be lazy about it. So I just hope it's an Asian actress. I'm looking forward to this one. This would actually be a really cool live action movie. I mean, are you guys excited for these live action adaptations? Are you okay with them adapting everything from Disney, like live action wise? Because they're coming out with Beauty and the Beast, and now it's Mulan. And here's the next story. They are doing a live action Winnie the Pooh, and they're going to make Christopher Robin an adult. Now, when Christopher Robin's a little boy and he's imagining all these animals talking and stuff, that's cute. We can accept it, and then we'll put you in a psych ward. But why in the hell is he an adult still talking to animals, and he's imagining them talking back? It's fucking weird, man. Like, it's really fucking trippy. So I don't know about this one. It's Winnie the fucking Pooh, man. Like, I remember watching as a kid, and I liked it for what it was, but why in the hell does this need a live action adaptation? It's fucking Winnie the Pooh. Like, the theory of, all the animals represent, like, an emotion that Christopher Robin's going through, like Eeyore's depression, like, Pooh is gluttony with all the honey addiction, and then, like, Tigger's, like, ADHD, and, like, the owl is OCD, and I forgot what they peg Piglet as. Yeah, I forgot. But, I mean, like, that's actually a really cool concept, but I don't know, man. It's just fucking weird. Like, can you imagine like your neighbor, like your 40-year-old neighbor, like going to the woods like late at night, talking to a bunch of woodland creatures? No, you can't. So I don't know how they're gonna pull this one off, but that's not the weirdest piece of news, and I'm gonna end it with this. They're making a live-action Play-Doh movie. Yeah, you heard me. 20th Century Fox has acquired the rights to the Play-Doh brand, and they're going to make a movie. Now, this could go one of two ways. They could make it really shitty and have it to where like the Play-Doh is like molded into characters, and they come to life, and they're set in a real-life setting, and like it's a mixture of live-action and animation, and they can totally do that and make it like the Smurfs and feel like they're just pooing right in your face. Or, hear me out, I was listening to another movie podcast this week, and they suggested maybe like the Lego movie, where it's like a world of Play-Doh and it's like claymation and stuff. I would be okay with that idea. Now, if they want to go more of the Smurfs route, oh my god, that's when I'm going to like shake my head. Like, the Smurfs are already unbelievable enough, but why in the hell would someone like be walking down the street, they see like a little Play-Doh figure like talking to them? I'd be freaking the fuck out. I'd be stomping the shit out of that Play-Doh thing. I would grab like the first thing near me, beat it to death, and like stomp its Play-Doh face in. That would be freaky as fuck, man. So, a Play-Doh movie from 20th Century Fox. Listen, Fox, you've done some weird stuff, but this is probably the weirdest one you've done so far. So, that's all the pieces of news, guys. I kind of rambled on a little bit on the news. If you have any comments on the news stories, comment in the place to upload my voice and let me know. All right, let's jump into the trailers that came out this week. The first one is Masterminds, and it stars Kristen Wiig, Zach Galifianakis, Owen Wilson, and Jason Sudeikis. And basically, Zach Galifianakis steals a bunch of money, and people are trying to hunt him down. So it's a comedy, and it was okay. The trailer overall was just okay, and the funniest part was Jason Sudeikis, and he had one line. I don't know. It doesn't really get me excited to, like, you know, I'm gonna wake up one morning, stretch my arms, look at the sun, and go, you know what? I'm gonna drive to the theater and spend money on Masterminds. It just doesn't really excite me. So I like Galifianakis, and I like Kristen Wiig, and I like Owen Wilson and Jason Sudeikis, but we'll see. If the reviews are okay, I might see it, but like if they're terrible, I'll stay away from it for sure, and I'll spend my money on this next movie I'm gonna talk about. So they released a second trailer for Spy, and this stars Melissa McCarthy, Jason Statham, Jude Law, Rose Byrne, and Melissa McCarthy plays, you know, the spy, and it's a bunch of antics and stuff, and it's actually really funny. I didn't really care for the first trailer that came out, and I really liked the Red Band trailer, because in a Red Band trailer, it's balls to the wall, man. You can, like, say F words, you can have nudity, you can go all out and really set the tone for the movie, especially if it's rated R. This one is a Green Band trailer, so it's a little bit more restrictive, and it was hilarious. Like, there was a certain joke where Melissa McCarthy is like standing out on a sidewalk, and like there's a car like coming up, and they're whistling at a bunch of hot women, and then they pass Melissa McCarthy, and they're silent, and then it gets to the next group of hot women, and they're hollering at them. I don't know. That was like super hilarious to me, because like that happens in real life all the time. So it's very mean, but I mean it's funny. But I really like it, and a lot of people that have seen Spy, they've claimed that like Jason Statham steals the show, and I'm looking forward to Jason Statham because he looks really, really funny in this movie. So, Spy trailer, I'm totally down. The next trailer is The D Train, and it stars Jack Black and James Marsden, and Jack Black is putting together his high school reunion, and so he goes to fetch James Marsden's character, who did go to the same school and was in the same class as Black, and he's now like a famous actor, and so Jack Black thinks, if he brings, this guy back to the reunion and stuff, he'll seem like a really cool kid, and it looks kind of cool. And Alicia Malone, who is on AMC Movie Talk and the Schmoes and everything, she went to South by Southwest, and she was saying that it's a really weird movie, and James Marsden and Jack Black have like a sex scene, so kind of gets me excited because I'm actually curious now. It looks kind of cool. It looks like it'll be like one of those movies where like Jack Black just wants to prove to himself and like be really popular with his peers, and maybe they'll learn something at the end. It might have like a lot of heart to it, so I don't know, but it looks cool to me. So, and I'm always up for a good indie comedy. So let's do this. The next one, speaking of Mad Max, they released the second trailer for this movie, and I gotta tell you, man, this second trailer was fucking awesome. It was so good. When I saw the first trailer from last year, it was really, really good, and I didn't expect it to look like that, because if you guys remember, I don't know if I spoke about this on this podcast, but this film has had trouble for years with reshoots and reschedulings, and they had to like change some stuff up. And when you hear stuff about that with the movie, it kind of makes you a little worried, kind of like what the Lone Ranger did. Like, they had a lot of reshoots, and their budget was overdone, and that I didn't see the movie, but just watching the trailer, I didn't want to see it. It just looked awful. But you hear about all these stories of Mad Max, and like you watch the first trailer, and all those worries go away, and now it's like one of the most anticipated of the year for people, and including myself. The first trailer was cool. It just had a bunch of action scenes and kind of showed you the color palette of the movie, and it was nice, and I was really jacked for it. But the second trailer, the one I saw this week, told a little bit more of the story and everything, and I think with this trailer, it's the best one by far, because it gives you the story, doesn't give away hardly anything at all, shows you a little bit more action scenes, shows you a really close-up look at the villain and what he's going to look like, what he sounds like. So this trailer had it all. It gave you a little bit of everything without fully giving everything away, and it teases just the right amount. Like it like puts its finger in its mouth, and like it kind of like dabbles its finger on your nipple a bit, and it teases it, and it's just, your nipples get a little perky, I'm not gonna lie. So that got a little weird and a little strange for a second. So the next trailer is The Gift, and this stars Jason Bateman, Rebecca Hall, and Joel Edgerton. And Joel Edgerton actually wrote and directed this movie, and it's produced by Jason Blum, who is a part of Blumhouse. And, he produces The Insidious, Paranormal Activity, The Purge, Sinister. The guy's a really good producer, and he also produced my favorite movie last year, Whiplash. So The Gift, it basically, Jason Bateman and Rebecca Hall move into a house. Well, yeah, they move into a house, and Gordo, played by Joel Edgerton, kind of they run into each other like at a store or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, I haven't seen you since high school," or whatever. So, and then Joel Edgerton is basically a creep, and I'm not gonna lie, it looks really basic. I mean, like when the trailer played, I was like, I was curious, because I was like, I like Bateman and I like Rebecca Hall and Joel Edgerton. So, but once the trailer got done with, I was like, this reminds me of like The Roommate or The Stepfather or some other generic fucking horror movie piece of shit. And listen, I think the only reason I'm going to give this a buy is because Joel Edgerton is writing and directing it. And I could be wrong, but I think there's more than meets the eye. And no, this isn't Transformers. I think there's more to this story that we're not seeing in the trailer, and I think there might be a cool, clever twist at the end, which I'm assuming there's going to be anyways. But I mean, like, with Joel Edgerton behind the camera, and he wrote the script, I can't see him writing something generic like this. Like I said, I could be wrong, and I might be eating my own foot when I see this movie, but as of right now, yes, the trailer is very generic, and it's like plot point by plot point, like, oh, he's stalking, and he's leaving dead fucking mongooses on the porch. I mean, he didn't really do that, but I mean, like, but there's just got to be more to the story. I believe that, but I could be wrong. So The Gift looks interesting, so I'll definitely check it out. And the last trailer I want to talk about is the second trailer for Straight Outta Compton. Motherfucking name Ice Cube. Listen, guys, I love NWA, and I'm really glad that this movie's being made. And I had the 10 minutes straight on a podcast like a few weeks ago talking about the first trailer. It just blew me away. I'm looking forward to this so much. And I love a good biopic. And this one just looks like a really good story to tell. And it looks like it's super relevant to this time, with all the, police corruption around the nation and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to it, man. And the trailer played right before Fast 7. And I just got super pumped because we were in a loud theater, and they played the excerpts from the song, Straight Outta Compton, from your motherfucking name, Ice Cube. from the gang called With Attitude. Like, it just, oh man, it just gets you pumped, man. I've always liked their music, but it just, the trailer, man, it's just so good. So Straight Outta Compton comes out in August, I believe. So the second trailer was pretty good. So that's it for the trailers, guys. If you have any comments on the trailers, comment in the place below my voice and let me know. So let's get to the second half, the meat of this podcast, if you will. Basically what the fucking title is. I know you guys are just like, get to it already, you fuck. Guys, I'm getting to it. It's okay. So Furious 7 is out this weekend, and I don't know if I mentioned it on this podcast, but I'll go ahead and say it now. The Fast and Furious franchise is one of my favorite guilty pleasures of my life. I love these movies, and I remember watching the first one, because the first one came out when I was in 5th grade, so coming out on home video was like the following year probably, so I probably saw it when I was in the 6th grade, and I really liked it. It was just like a really cool, slick action film, you know? It wasn't like, you know, highbrow or anything. It was just fun to watch, and I really liked the characters of Dom and Brian, you know, played by Vin Diesel and Paul Walker. And so when the second one came out, you know, Vin Diesel, he was not in it. And, you know, it kind of lost that magic a little bit, I'm not going to lie. But, I mean, Tyrese Gibson was in it, and, you know, his character is in the future installment, so I guess it's okay. And then Tokyo Drift comes out, and, oh my god, everyone shits on that movie. And if you go on Rotten Tomatoes right now, I think Fast and Furious 1, 2, and 3 are all rotten. It didn't start getting fresh until number 4. But Tokyo Drift was not bad. I actually liked it. And, you know, when I saw 6, which I'll get to in just a second, it made me even more excited for the third one because it, you know, it ties in and everything. But I like Tokyo Drift. Yeah, it didn't really have anyone in it from the series, but it was still pretty cool. And now that everything is connected, the story is kind of cool now. It makes sense. Then the fourth one comes out. And I remember when I watched the fourth one at first, I was like, it's really cool to see the gang back together. But for me personally, I thought the fourth one was kind of the weakest. It just wasn't really memorable. I mean, there was memorable scenes where, you know, Letty... there's a major plot point that happens with Letty's character, played by Michelle Rodriguez, but I didn't really care for her before, but I was still going to give the franchise a shot because I still love the characters, and I still love the action, I still love the whole family aspect of it. And then Fast 5 comes out, and I still remember it to this very day. It's 2011, and I'm seeing Fast 5 for the first time, and I'm just like, cool, can't wait to see another movie. Dwayne Johnson's in it, you know, The Rock, so it's going to be really fucking tight. When you walk out of Fast 5, you kind of look at yourself and go, I'm starting to question my thinking on the other movies because Fast 5 was fucking awesome. It's not really a race movie anymore. It still has its cars and its chases and stuff, but it was more of a heist film. And it was a completely different shift in genres, and I fucking loved it, man. Like, a lot of people... Patrick, if you're listening to this, Patrick's one of my friends, and he's a huge Fast and Furious fan, and he loves the first 4, but then when he saw number 5, he fucking hated it because it didn't have any car races in it. Because that's what the franchise is known for, is the drag racing and stuff. And so, I was okay with it. I told him, I said, listen, as much as this franchise goes on, do you really want to see car races over and over and over again? It's nice to mix it up, and I think this worked for the better. It was like a high-octane action movie, and I really fucking liked it. So I was really excited for number 6. So number 6 comes out in 2013, and Dusty, if you're listening to us, I remember us seeing that movie together. Dusty's one of my friends and stuff, and I remember I turned to her when the movie was done. I was like, that was fucking awesome, like, and because at the end of number 6 is, you know, the tie-in with number 3 and leading into 7. So after number 6 comes out, you're kind of like piecing the movies together. You're just like, okay. So the timeline is Fast and Furious 1, then 2, then 4, then 5, then 6, then 3, then 7. And I was like, you know what? As much people, like, give this franchise shit and it's like, the writing is terrible. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. It's a fucking action film, and it's very self-aware of the tone that it has. It's not going to be like this Shakespearean dialogue, you fuck. Like, it's Fast and the Furious. It's just a fun, good time. But what I can really respect about this franchise is that the writer Chris Morgan, who has been writing them since number 3, he has really taken into account that he ties everything in. Like, most franchises, when they get to 7 or 8, they just abandon the fucking story and nothing makes any sense anymore. Like, at least he is cognizant of what's going on. He wants to try to tie it in to make it a very cohesive story. That way we care about the characters more, and we kind of, fear for their lives a little bit when they do these, like, very dangerous, like, missions and stuff. And so, I think with with that timeline and everything tying together and what Chris Morgan did with the writing, I really respect that. Yes, there are cheesy one-liners. Get over it. It's fun. So after number 6 and the whole end clip with Jason Statham, I was like, oh my god, 7 is going to kick so much ass. Justin Lin has been directing them since number 3, and he dropped out of number 7. So we were all thinking, as hardcore movie fans, like, who was going to replace Justin Lin? He's been kind of the helmer for over half of the franchise. They bring in James Wan. Now, at first, when I heard this news, I was like, I love James Wan, but, oh dear God, I don't know if he can do this. Like, because James Wan, he is the director of the first Saw, Dead Silence, Death Sentence, Insidious 1, Insidious 2, The Conjuring. This guy is a horror director. And I was talking with Jackson last night over Skype, and he was actually wondering, like, why did they pick him? And I think him and Justin Lin were probably friends, and when Justin said he was leaving, he probably recommended James, which was a very good choice, by the way, after seeing this movie. I'm a huge fan of James Wan. I think he is without a doubt, the best modern horror director of today. And I will fight you on that. I will severely fight you on that. I think he is. If not, he's definitely top 3. Every movie he makes, I have enjoyed. I have not disliked any movie he's done. Because he creates like such an atmospheric, dark, and creepy environment. And it gets me every time, even though some of the camera styles and some of the editing techniques are the same. It still scares the fuck out of me. Even though, for the most part, they're jump scares. They're still very creative in their jump scares. So, James Wan's a very, very talented director. So, coming on to Fast 7, or Furious 7, or whatever, I was curious. I was actually more curious than anything, because, like, I was going to see the movie regardless. I really didn't care who directed it. I wanted to see this story and franchise continue. And James Wan comes on to direct number 7. I'm thinking to myself, I'm just more curious than anything of how this is going to go down. So James Wan directs it. And, production's going well and everything. And then it comes to a halt. And unfortunately, Paul Walker did tragically pass away, doing what he loved, which was driving to a charity, and he got into a fatal car accident. And so they held production for like, I think it was a few weeks or like a month or something like that, and then they got back on the horse, because if you guys remember, this movie was supposed to come out last year during the summer, and they pushed it 8 months respectively, because they gave the actors kind of time to breathe and the writers to and the Universal like come up with a good ending and like really figure out what they were going to do, because at that point I think Paul Walker shot about 80% of it, so like there was 20% unaccounted for, and so they were trying to figure it out. And so they actually got Paul Walker's brothers to stand in for him, and they digitally created Paul's face on his brother's bodies. And I'll get to that in just a second, but when I heard this news, I was like, this is awful, man. Like, Paul Walker, he was the face of this franchise. Like, him and Vin Diesel were Fast and Furious. Like, they honestly were. And people can say what they want about Paul's acting, whatever. I really admire the guy for what he did, and he's actually a really good guy in real life. If you really look him up, like, he's a good family man, and he does charity work and stuff, and he just seemed like he really enjoyed life, and it kind of sucks because, life was taken away from him at such an early age because, he was only in his 30s, 30s or early 40s, I forgot. Probably his 40s. But it was just really tragic to hear, and I was really curious to see how they were going to finish it, and if they were going to have a nice tribute and nice send-off. And then Furious 7 comes out. I see it. I'm going to answer all those questions in the review. So let's do this. So, is it good? Is it a good installment for the franchise? Yes. What's interesting is, and I told my roommate after we got out of the movie, and we both agreed. Listen, I realize that they're going to make a Fast and Furious 8, but I would actually be okay if they ended on 7. And I know they're not going to, because when I get to the box office results in just a minute, you'll realize that they can make 5 more of these and be fine. But number 7 ended so perfectly in terms of, like, just where every character was at, how they sent the tribute off to Paul Walker. It felt right, and I really wish they would end it there, but I'm not going to argue against them. I'm going to see 8, 9, 10, 20, whatever, because there's got to be an end game to this storyline, and I would like to see that end game, but I kind of wish they would end it at 7, because I thought it was pretty good. But I mean, they left, Jason Statham's character kind of, open and in question, so, there has to be an 8. So let's start with the directing. I think James Wan, this guy, has handled this movie with such class that I really respect him even more now. Like, with Paul Walker's passing, switching genres, having a budget that is, I was talking with Jackson last night on Skype, and I told him that, James Wan, he's done horror movies, but all of his movies have had no more of a budget than $3 million. So we looked at, like, the first Insidious film, and it was, like, $1.5 million or something like that for its budget. Furious 7's budget is, like, 200 and something million. So, like, he's literally working with a movie that's, like, 200 times more than a budget than he's used to. So, I think with the handling of that and Paul Walker and everything, I think James Wan nailed this. I think he's got a really good future in horror and action. I really liked all of the action sequences, and I'm not a huge fan of, like, fast cut editing. I would rather see, like, a wide shot of, like, people fighting or whatever, just so you can see the action and shit. I think it's more entertaining to watch when it's, like, one shot and it stays on there and people are just fighting with really great choreography. But James Wan does have, like, fast cut editing in this movie, but I could actually tell what was going on, and I didn't mind that. What I really liked about this installment was when people were fighting hand-to-hand combat, James Wan had some really cool camera techniques and really cool cinematography. Like, if someone got punched in the face and they rolled backwards, the camera would roll with them. Kind of like the camera, like, if the camera was on you and, like, you rolled backwards, the camera would roll with you. So, like, you stay, like, literally in the same position in frame, and then the environment around you moves. It's such a cool shot, and he does it a few times, and I thought it was really awesome. So, his fight choreography, cinematography is really well directed. I do like the fact that it looks really good. Like, James Wan, like I said, he's got that horror eye, so it sounded like I said horror eye. No, he's got the horror eye, and what I mean by that, like, he's got a lot of dark shadows. He's got really cool lighting setups, and this one felt really atmospheric and kind of different than everything else in the franchise, but I really dug it. There's, like, just little things. Like, there's one scene where Jason Statham and Vin Diesel are, like, underneath, like, this structure or whatever, and it's kind of like an underground type thing, and there's, like, a huge fan above them, and, like, it's spinning, and, like, the light is casted on the ground where they're at, but, like, the shadows from the blades keep going across the cars, and it just looked cool. It looked very stylish and something new, unique for this franchise. So, fight choreography, awesome. The action sequences were very well done. As far as the acting goes, like, because that's what the main job of a director, you know, there's a lot more dramatic scenes in this one than previous installments. And I think, for the most part, like, all the actors did, like, a better job than what they'd previously done. And I think that has to do with the fact that, I'm not saying Justin Lin is a terrible director by any means, but it seems like James Wan really focused, well, like, when it was a close, intimate scene, it seemed like James Wan really cared and was like, you know what, I'm going to try to get the best performance out of these guys. And some of it showed, and like with Dom and Letty and stuff, I love their relationship and their chemistry and what they're kind of going for, and you know, they got some pretty heartfelt moments, and I was like, you know what, that's actually pretty good for this movie. So directing is great for a first timer. Like, congratulations, James Wan, you are just fucking awesome. So let's go with the acting. Everyone does their parts. Jason Statham is a really cool villain. I do kind of wish that he had more screen time and kind of more to do. But hopefully in number 8, like, he'll just kind of like go balls to the wall and just like go murder a lot of people. I kind of wish Dwayne Johnson was in it a lot more. He's hospitalized most of the movie, but the parts he's in is awesome. I mean, he's shooting a fucking mini machine gun. So everyone does fine in their parts. Like I said, I always like Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez's characters. That's a really good chemistry. I even like Paul Walker and Jordana Brewster. I think them as a couple have worked in all 7 movies, and it feels right. Tyrese and Ludacris, they're always really funny, and I really like them in their parts. So everyone does really well. I don't have any complaints on the acting. Kurt Russell's in it; he does a pretty good job. Tony Jaa's in it. Oh shit, what's the black actor's name? Damon Hinju or something? Oh fuck, I sound terrible right now. That guy, he was in Blood Diamond, but like, he's really good. I really don't have any problem with the acting in terms of like, if it's misdirected from their characters. Usually, usually when you're this far in a franchise, you either are your character or you're not, and I think all of them exude their characters, and I think they really inhabit their characters' personalities and everything. So I think everyone does a great job. So you're probably all wondering, how does the Paul Walker stand-in scenes look? To be honest, I can tell when they were digitally placed, like Paul's face on his brother's bodies, but it didn't bother me. It really didn't. Like, for the most part, it was during like an action scene or a fight scene, and it was so dark in the fight scene. You can still see the fight, but like, there's just barely any light, because, you know, it's set in like this dark, like, fucking weird warehouse, and so you can't really see much. That's okay. And at the very end, you know, you could see it implanted on the body, and, you know, it didn't really bother me. But as far as like the stand-ins go, you know, they did their job. And what's actually really scary is, like, because he has 2 brothers. One of them doesn't really look like him. He's got like the blue eyes and stuff, and he's got like the hair, but like, he has the other brother that looks just like him and has like that same build and everything. And it was kind of weird, but like, good job for casting his brother, because like, he looks exactly like Paul. So yeah, I thought that worked for the most part. And like I said, James Wan handled this situation very well, and so did Universal. And I'll get to the tribute in just a second. Cinematography, like I said, very, very cool cinematography during the hand-to-hand fight scenes, and the action scenes were really cool. There's one shot at the very beginning when Jason Statham and Dwayne Johnson meet for the first time. I saw that shot and I was like, James Wan, you crazy motherfucker! You're actually bleeding your horror roots into this movie. There was a shot of Jason Statham, and he's in the shadows, and there's like one light in front of him, but like on the ground, and it's shining up. So it has like this, you know, light outline like on the middle of his face. So it kind of like highlights some aspects of his face or whatever, but like it looked really creepy. It looked like Jason Statham was like possessed or whatever. It was really cool, and like there's just shots like that are placed all over the place that I really enjoyed. And like I said, I really liked the hand-to-hand choreography. I know I keep mentioning it, but like I said, some of the camera techniques used, it was just really cool, and I'm glad that, I'll guarantee you that James Wan like put his like little taste in it, because he's really good at shooting his movies and like picking out really good shots and stuff. Because like I said, if you watch all of his horror films, they're beautifully shot. I mean, there's no denying that. You might hate them as movies, but they're actually really well shot. So cinematography was very good, and I'll mention it one more time. I really love the hand-to-hand fight scenes. So editing, this movie, sorry guys, I don't have it written down, and I should have had it written down, but you know, stuff happens, and you know, I'm looking it up on my phone. Okay, the movie is 2 hours and 20 minutes. A lot of people might think that is too long. I actually like that. It was entertaining and it was engaging. I didn't feel the time slow down. I didn't look at my phone or my watch once. I was just highly entertained. I was just really curious to see how they're going to wrap up the movie with Paul Walker and stuff. And I think the pace is very good for this film. There's a lot of action sequences that will kind of like inject that adrenaline into your heart and keep it going. You might find the talking scenes a bit boring if you're like a hardcore Fast and Furious fan, because you probably just want to see the car races and action scenes. And I get that. Some of it, you know, is a little long-winded, but for the most part, I had fun with it. There was a lot of good dramatic elements, and it had a good pace and a good rhythm. And that will bring me to the end of this film. And this had one of the best tributes and one of the best endings to a character in a film that has recently passed away in real life. The way this movie ended was so perfect for Paul Walker's character, and they had a small little tribute, and they had like a little montage of scenes from the other Fast and Furious movies, and it was just really touching, man. Like I teared up. I really did, and without spoiling anything, like it, you know, Vin Diesel's kind of like having his voiceover, kind of wrapping up the movie or whatever, and you just kind of see Brian's character kind of walk away from this life and go live with his family, and it just makes you respect Universal and the filmmakers for making this a very good ending to his character, and it felt powerful and emotional, and like I said, it felt perfect. It felt like the perfect ending to actually end this entire series. And the last shot of the entire movie, like it's like a great metaphor for like what's actually going on with this character, and the fact that Vin Diesel and Paul Walker are friends in real life, and they're kind of parting ways and stuff. It was just, guys, it was such a good ending. It really was, and I really love the tribute. And you know, rest in peace, Paul. You were a fantastic actor, my dude, and you really inhabited Brian O'Connor. And the Fast and Furious franchise and Running Scared are actually my favorite roles he's ever done, period. Running Scared, like, kind of edges it out just a little bit, but Running Scared is one of my favorite movies, just because I've seen it so many times, and Paul Walker really just nails that part. But, like, I really like the ending, guys. It was so damn perfect. And like I said, rest in peace, Paul. I love you, buddy. I liked watching your movies. So, yeah, perfect ending to this movie. So, overall, out of 10, I give it a strong 7. A 7 for Furious 7. Listen, is this an Oscar-worthy movie? No. But it is damn fun, and if you really like the franchise, I think you'll like this installment. I really like 7 a lot, and I think it has a perfect ending, but I think I like Fast 5 more. It's like a toss-up between 5 and 6, and then 7. So 7 is definitely my second favorite, but I might sit on this and go, you know what, it's actually my favorite. So it's a really strong entry, in my opinion. If you love these movies and you like to have fun, go a little crazy, then you'll love this installment. If you do not like the Fast and Furious movies, you're not going to fucking like this movie. Just go watch something else. So that's my thoughts on Furious 7 and Paul Walker's ending and stuff. I'm actually really curious to see if James Wan will come back and do number 8, or if he will do another action movie. I don't know. But as of right now, they have confirmed that Fast and Furious 8 is happening, of course, and I'll get to the numbers in just a second. But Vin Diesel hinted that it might be in New York this time, which would be kind of cool because they haven't done really anything local in quite a few movies. So, I mean, they have, but like not where it's like set in like, North America. Usually they go in like some foreign territory. So, Furious 7, I'm going to give it a strong 7 out of 10. It's a very fun time at the theater. I would love to see it again. And it's one of the best tributes and send-offs to a character I've seen in quite some time. It was that good. It's just a lot of fun, guys. So it's a great way to kick off the summer movie season. Have you seen Furious 7? If you have, or if you even heard of it, if you even know it was coming out, comment in that place where I'll put my voice and let me know. And with that being said, let's talk about some box office numbers. Now, you guys know what number 1 is, like I said, but you're curious as to see how much it made. So let's do this. So coming in at number 5 was Insurgent, the Divergent series, because obviously you have to put that Divergent series in the fucking title to alert us that it's a part of the Divergent series. Fucking Lionsgate. Alright, so Insurgent came out number 5. My computer will stop bugging out. Holy crap. Fucking pop-up ads. Alright, so Insurgent made $10 million. It has made $103 million domestically and $223 million worldwide. On a $110 million budget, you double that, it needs about $220 to break even. So as of right now, Insurgent has broken even and has made very minimal profit. But as the weeks progress, or whatever, it'll probably get a little bit more. So it'll probably get a little bit more profit, but at least it didn't tank, I guess. I guess that's what you can take away from that. So Insurgent number 5 with $10 million. Number 4 is Cinderella with $10.2 million. Oh my god. Sorry guys, the fucking pop-up ads. I really do apologize. Oh my god. Someone please come over here and help me work on my computer. So Cinderella, $10.2 million. Domestically, it's made $167 on a worldwide total of $397 on its budget of $95. So it needed about $190 to break even. It's made about $200 million profit. Oh dear God. And you wonder why Winnie the fucking Pooh Bear and Beauty and the Beast and Mulan and Dumbo are getting live action adaptations because Cinderella, Maleficent, and Alice in Wonderland killed it. Oh dear Lord. Like, these movies make gobs of money. Okay. So Get Hard came in at number 3. I guess it didn't stay hard for long. I guess it got a little flaccid this week. With $12.9 million. Guys, I really hate my fucking computer. Alright, so domestically it's made $57 million, and world. Oh my god, you guys fucking hear that? My neighbors are like fucking stomping their elephant-sized fucking feet across the floor. Shut up! Shut up! My god. Alright. So worldwide it's made $67 on a budget of $40, so it needs about $80 to break even. I don't think this movie's going to make a ton of money. Even if it does make profit, it is tanking. Number 2 is Home with $27 million. And right now, domestically, it's got $95 million on a worldwide total of $179 on a production budget of $135. Need to double that. And that comes out to $270 to break even. Yikes. It needs about $100 million to break even. Whew, DreamWorks, this is not good, buddy. You might have to sit this one out. The only movies it's got in its pipeline that people are even looking forward to are How to Train Your Dragon 3 and Kung Fu Panda 3. Everything they do in between, I'm a little worried for it, not going to lie. So, the number 1, you guys saw this coming, Furious 7. How much did it make? Now, a lot of people would bet it'd probably make about $100 million, which is, it's reasonable. You have Paul Walker's passing, and then you have to factor in, it's the 7th installment. The last one made like $700 million worldwide. It's destined to make a shit ton of money, regardless if Paul Walker died or not. But I do think that is part of the reason, because people are just curious. So let me look up the budget right here. Right, do you guys fucking hear that? I swear to everything, like they're having like some fucking dance party upstairs, and they're just having a grand old time. Well, guess what, you fucks? Shut up. There you go. God. Like, did you guys, like, seriously hear that? If you can't, then maybe I'm going crazy. But, like, it's super loud in my room. Sorry, my internet's, like, super slow. Furious 7's budget is... Okay, so I was correct. It was $250 million. So, a $250 million budget, and it needs about $500 to break even. Here are the numbers. So domestically right now it's made $143 million, and worldwide it's already made $384. It needs $500 to break even. And in its first weekend, it makes $384 million worldwide. What the fuck? Like, holy shit, this thing is a behemoth. And you guys are wondering why they're going to make number 8. This is insane, man. Like, it's what Furious 7 is doing. It's basically cleaning up before Avengers: Age of Ultron. So I don't blame it one bit. It wants to hit that market real quick before Avengers comes out in 4 weeks. So expect Furious 7 to dominate the box office for at least a couple more weekends. And I think it'll probably make. Ooh, that's a good question. I want to say $800 million worldwide, like towards like the tail end of its run. I think it'll probably be 800, which is not far-fetched considering the fact that it's already made half of that prediction in its first weekend. So it might make even more than that. It might make close to $1 billion. I don't know. It'll be really interesting to kind of keep track of it. But Furious 7, $143 million, you absolutely deserve it. I really liked it. It's a very good, fun time. So, guys, we've reached the end. We've reached the end of this podcast, and this was a long one. I'm not gonna lie. You guys can't see my face, but I'm a little teary-eyed because it just, that tribute to Paul Walker is still affecting me. There's a lot of feelings going on right now in this room. So if you guys would like to follow me on Spreaker, you can click that follow button, and you can follow me on this website. You can get up to dates when I go live and when I post these things. If you guys would like to follow me on iHeartRadio, I'm also on there as well. If you guys want to follow my Twitter for random shit, when I post these things, movie reviews, non-funny quotes all day, every day, it's at Real Chase Lee, REEL Chase Lee. If you guys would like to like my Facebook page, it is facebook.com/Real Reviews with Chase Lee, and you can give that page a like, and you can follow me on my movie reviews and podcasts and whatnot. If you guys want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, it's youtube.com/Shabutnik75, and that would be capital S, lowercase HABOOTNIK75, and you can find all my movie reviews, podcasts, web series, short films. I have a lot of stuff on there to keep you guys interested. I write for a website, DallasMovieScreenings.com, so you can find me on there as well. I also do videos for We Live Film. If you type that in on YouTube, We Live Film, I do a segment on there called Can't Breathe Comedy, where I talk about comedy movies, and hopefully it's a fun time for you guys. So I think it's all the social media. So I want to thank you guys for listening to this installment. We talked about Furious 7, Paul Walker, and we had some movie news that was awesome, some trailer news that was awesome. So if you have any comments on any of the stories or the movie review, please comment in that place where I'll my voice. Give this podcast a like or a thumbs up or whatever the fuck it is on the social media platform that you're on. Tell us to your friends, guys. Like, let people know that you really like this podcast and they should give this thing a listen, because the more people that get to listen to this, then, the longer I will go, because it's just, this podcast is dwindling, guys. I'm not gonna lie, and if I can't get more, listens, I may just hang my coat up. But as of right now, honestly, guys, I really do appreciate the people that do listen to this. I love you all. just please continue to listen, and I will do my best to keep doing this every week because I really do love doing it, regardless of my followers. I was just joking, guys. I really do like doing this because I'm not huge. I'm really not, and I do, like I said, I appreciate the people that do listen to this. So thank you very much every single week. So tune in next week for another episode of Reel Me In: a movie podcast. Next week, I don't know what I'm going to review, but you guys know the drill. I will pick a movie to review, just talk about the news, or mix it up, or just, it's always a random subject every single week, but that's just how it goes. So, like I said, guys, thank you for listening to another episode of Reel Me In: a movie podcast. I am Chase Lee, and I really love films a lot, and I really hope while you guys are listening to this, I make you into film lovers as well. So, you guys have a good day, a good night, good Easter. If you're listening to this right now on Sunday, I will see you guys next week. Goodbye, everyone.